Can a Jewish woman and a Persian empire save an entire nation from annihilation? Could a miracle avert a predetermined fate when a deadly decree has already been issued? Welcome, dear viewers, to the Deconstructed Truth, where we continue to unveil the historical and prophetic mysteries shaping our world. In the grand tapestry of Scripture, Israel has always been at the center of divine attention, yet their fate has often intertwined with seemingly unlikely adversaries. Today, we delve into one of the most dramatic stories of the Bible. The miracle of Esther, unfolding right within the palace of Susa, ancient Persia, modern-day Iran. At a moment when Israel stood on the brink of extinction. When a genocidal plot was sealed with the royal signet, did God use the most unexpected means to protect his people? Modern Iran, often known for its hostility towards Israel, holds an ancient history that harbors moments of divine deliverance. This journey will reveal 5 hidden meanings of divine protection, when Israel's shield came from Persian soil. Join us as we explore the story of God's supreme power in defending his people, and how this narrative connects to today's wars, religion, and politics between Iran and Israel. Hidden Meaning 1. The genocidal plot, the roots of ancient hatred. The first hidden meaning takes us to a dark moment in Israel's history, where ancient hatred reveals itself most starkly. The genocidal plot orchestrated by Haman. The story of Queen Esther is not merely a royal fairy tale, it is a testament to divine intervention, unfolding right within the palace of Susa, one of the capitals of the ancient Persian Empire. At that time, Jerusalem was still being rebuilt, and many Jews remained in exile throughout the vast Persian Empire. At a pivotal moment, Haman emerged, a powerful high-ranking official to King Xerxes I, also called Ahasuerus in the Bible. Haman was driven by pride and a deep, festering hatred for the Jews, particularly when Mordecai, a Jew, refused to bow before him. His hatred wasn't casual, it was ancestral, spiritual, and it found its opportune moment when Haman manipulated the king into signing an irrevocable decree. On a chosen day, across the vast Persian Empire, every Jew, men, women, and children, was to be slaughtered. This was more than just a political threat. It was a spiritual war aimed at destroying the very people through whom the promised Messiah would one day come. Imagine the despair. The ink was dry, the seal was pressed, the date was set. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to wake up knowing the law itself had turned against you, that the nation you lived under now viewed your existence as a crime? For the Jews in Persia, it was more than fear, it was the sound of extinction approaching. The opponent's script profoundly stated, that hatred is not new, it is ancient, and it is not just against people. It is against purpose. This indicates that behind human plots, greater spiritual forces are at work, seeking to thwart God's plan for Israel. Yet, even in the deepest darkness, a glimmer of hope emerged, revealing that God's plan cannot be defeated. Hidden Meaning 2. Queen Esther, divine placement in an unexpected place. The second hidden meaning reveals a miraculous divine intervention, placing one of God's pieces right into the heart of the adversary. Queen Esther, a hidden Jewish woman, chosen as Queen of Persia. Even before Haman's genocidal plot was revealed, God had already positioned his answer. Esther, an orphaned and anonymous Jewish girl, was elevated to the throne of Persia. She had no throne by birth, no royal pedigree, no political weight. But she had a divine appointment. Though the crown rested on her head, it was heaven's hand that had placed it there. This was a perfect placement for a specific time. When Mordecai, Esther's cousin and guardian, realized the threat, He sent her a message that transcends time and still demands an answer from every chosen one today, and who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. This was more than a question, it was a divine reminder that timing and position are never accidental when God is involved. Put yourself in Esther's shoes. She knew that approaching the king without invitation was a violation of royal protocol, a crime punishable by death. But she also knew that the lives of her entire people depended on her courage. This was not just a political or personal decision, it was a religious and faith-driven choice. Esther's bravery is a powerful testament to how God can use seemingly insignificant individuals, people in unexpected places, to accomplish His grand purposes. The miracle wasn't that she was chosen as queen, but that she was willing to act when her people's fate hung in the balance. This hidden meaning teaches us that even in the darkest circumstances, God can position His people in places of influence, even in the heart of pagan empires. Like Esther, we too might be placed where we are not for comfort but for confrontation, to be part of God's divine plan, even when it requires courage and faith beyond human capabilities. This reshapes how we view today's wars and tensions, recognizing that God is still positioning His people to shape history. Hidden meaning 3. A shield from the very heart of the Persian Empire. The third hidden meaning reveals a divine paradox. Israel's shield came from the very heart of the Persian Empire, a nation often perceived as an adversary. This was an astonishing reversal, turning a threat into a means of salvation. When Esther, trembling yet unshaken, decided to act, she would fast. She would pray, and then she would do the unthinkable, approach the king without invitation, risking her life for her people. She revealed everything, her identity, her people, and the evil Haman had devised. The king, shocked and enraged, reversed course. Haman was hung on the very gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. But here's the astonishing part. A new royal decree was issued, granting the Jewish people the right to defend themselves. What was meant to be a genocidal conflict turned into a festival of survival. This was more than a political reversal, it was a spiritual rescue. Esther didn't just stop a massacre, she activated heaven's plan in enemy territory. The opponent's script eloquently stated. Once again, Persia, modern-day Iran, played a double role, both as a threat and as the backdrop for one of God's greatest rescues. This demonstrates the unique oscillation in Persia's role towards Israel, from a rod of judgment, to a liberator, and now an unexpected shield. This hidden meaning reinforces the truth that Israel, though surrounded by enemies, is never truly forsaken. Time and again, the nation has stood on the brink, only to be pulled back by divine intervention. This may be why Israel has endured so many plots of destruction and yet survives still. It also raises questions about modern Iran. Could both roles, that of a vessel of restoration and of a dangerous empire, still reside within its borders today? Esther's story is a mirror reflecting the enduring truth that even as Satan sought to silence the lineage through which salvation would come, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, not then, not now, not ever. Hidden meaning 4. Purim, a celebration of life and God's faithfulness. The fourth hidden meaning brings us to one of the most unique and vibrant celebrations in the Jewish calendar, the Feast of Purim. This event is not just a past historical occurrence, it is an annual, living reminder of God's divine protection and His power to turn destinies around. The day that was destined for slaughter was turned into a festival of life. What was meant for death became Purim, a celebration of deliverance that Jews still honor today. Purim serves as a constant reminder that even in history's darkest moments, when all hope seemed lost, God still acts to protect His people. This holds profound significance for Israel today and its confrontation with Iran. It affirms that no matter how loud the threats, no matter how intricate the plots, God's promise to Israel remains unbroken. Israel's miraculous survival since its rebirth in 1948 is a vivid testament to this truth. Purim also illustrates a key aspect of divine protection. It doesn't always come through overt military interventions or obvious miracles. Sometimes, God works through the courage of individuals, like Esther and Mordecai. Through seemingly random political events, and through the ironic reversal of enemy plots. This reminds us that God's hand is operating in every layer of society and history. Even when we don't see Him directly. This hidden meaning offers great hope amidst today's wars and religious tensions. It affirms that God still keeps His covenant. And His word will never return void. Purim is an invitation for us to look beyond the surface of events to recognize God's sovereign hand orchestrating everything, ensuring that despite all enemies, His people will always be protected. Hidden meaning 5. The story of Esther reflects Israel's protection today. The fifth and final hidden meaning of this episode is a profound reminder. The story of Esther is not just a past memory, it is a mirror reflecting the enduring truth that Israel, though surrounded by enemies, is never truly forsaken. This holds deep significance for the Iran-Israel relationship and modern wars. The opponent's script emphasized that Esther's story reflects the enduring truth that Israel, though surrounded by enemies, is never truly forsaken. Time and again, the nation has stood on the brink, only to be pulled back by divine intervention. The prophecy in Ezekiel 36-37 about Israel's restoration is a powerful testament. Esther's story teaches us that God can act through unexpected means, through unlikely arms. This is not merely a political story, it is profoundly spiritual. Even if the secular rulers of Persia, ancient Iran, did not realize it, they were part of God's plan of deliverance. In the modern context, as Iran openly threatens to wipe Israel off the map and supports proxies like Hezbollah and Hamas, Esther's story becomes a beacon of hope. It reminds us that hatred has spiritual roots. Haman's genocidal plot was driven by a deep-seated hatred, not just for Mordecai but for the entire Jewish people, because they were God's covenant people. This is a reflection of the Antichrist spirit that has operated throughout centuries. God's unexpected intervention. God can use anyone, any circumstance, to protect His people. Esther's position as queen was a divine placement for that time. Unchanging promise, God's promise to Abraham, I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee, Genesis 12 verse 3, remains in effect. Any nation or power that dares to rise against Israel will face God's judgment. So what does this mean for Iran today? Esther's story reminds us that even as modern Iran embodies the role of a dangerous empire, the restorative role of ancient Persia may still reside within its spiritual identity. God still has the power to transform nations and use the most unexpected to glorify His name. It calls us, as viewers, to look beyond the surface political headlines or conflict developments, and to see God's sovereign hand at work, protecting His promise to Israel and the entire world. We have just explored 5 hidden meanings of divine protection from the story of Queen Esther, revealing how God used Persia, Iran, in an unexpected role to protect His people. From Haman's hateful genocidal plot, Esther's divine placement on the throne, Persia becoming a shield of salvation. Purim as a living reminder of God's faithfulness, to the way Esther's story reflects Israel's miraculous protection today. The story of Esther and Persia is a powerful testament that history is not random, but a divine script orchestrated by the Almighty. Even amidst today's wars and political, religious tensions between Iran and Israel, this story offers hope. It reminds us that God is still at work, and He can transform any circumstance to glorify His name and continue His grand plan. Though the Prince of Persia still wages war in the unseen realm, he does not have the final say. So, after all you've heard, do you see how these ancient biblical secrets still influence the world today, especially the relationship between Iran and Israel? Have you learned anything new about God's faithfulness and His protective power over His people? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you'd like us to continue exploring how current events connect with biblical prophecy, give this video a thumbs up and share it. This lets us know that we should continue uncovering more prophecies unfolding right before our eyes. If you found this content informative, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to the Deconstructed Truth, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming podcast episodes. Thank you for listening. We look forward to having you join us in video 4 of our series, The Prophetic Flow, Israel and the Nations, where we will explore Daniel's prophecies and the Messiah's timeline. Revelation shining from the heart of the Persian Empire.